Hello, 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 and welcome back to your place of being, home, wherever you choose to be. If you're tuning in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, whenever you happen to be here, we welcome you. My name is Elder. This is my channel. And this is a community of individuals who get together for hard conversations, such as this very interesting situation. So man eats, before we get into the man eating the banana, there was a banana put on display, duct taped to a wall, that sold for $120,000. I think that most individuals at this point probably would have heard about this situation. This is something that has been going around for quite a while in the news sphere, and I thought that it was interesting. I've noticed it happening, and I haven't spoke about it yet, but here we are today because something even more interesting has happened. Lee, thanks for joining us in the chat. Clinton did it, but you didn't hear that from me. I've heard that from a few people, so I'm not going to hold you to that claim on your own. But either way, I'm going to outline the fact that there are some interesting situations around this art display. And so, we've talked about this on the channel before, the idea of ideological subversion and where modern art is at in today's society, and why things like a golden throne, a golden toilet, right, and a banana duct taped to a wall become so out there and so prominent in today's society when it comes to modern art. Why is that something that we should be interested in? Well, before we get too into that situation, let's get into what has been happening around this banana. Everybody loved it. Everybody thought that it was... Listen to that. Police, they're coming to get me. I'll shut the window so you guys can't hear that. But what's happening? The art world is going crazy. Modern art loves a banana taped to a wall. Whether affixed to the wall of an art fair booth or displayed on the cover of New York Post, his work forces us to question how value is placed on material goods. And so this is being done by Emmanuel Perraton, the gallery founder. Maybe that's the gallery founder. I don't even know who the artist is. The artist tries to... Whoa. Perraton gallery spokesman Lucien Terrace told Herald that, who knows? I don't even know all these different names. Guess what? Some art guy. You know what he thinks? That if you make fun of the art world, that you can also, make a statement within that realm. And so he does things like create a golden throne, as we just saw, a golden toilet that individuals revel over and think that it is just like an amazing piece of art. And people have said, like this woman, he just makes fun of art, yada 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 yada. But is that not what modern art is? What is it, right? Lee says that you need a duct tape banana. I need to duct tape a banana to a wall so I can have some money, right? 120 grand for that, a banana. The point is, what happened? What happened with the story? Well, a dude comes in and he says, guess what? I'm going to eat this banana. Man who ate $120,000 art said he would have done it sooner, but he wasn't hungry yet. And so, this dude, a guy comes in and he's just like, I'm going to eat the banana, right? Good. And, he's going to make a statement. Okay. So someone makes a statement over the situation. Yada, yada, yada. Who cares about this whole art world situation, right? Who cares? I think anybody with any amount of knowledge or any amount of common sense in their head can see that a banana duct taped to a wall is not really a piece of art, and it is to make fun of this modern art era. But what is real art? Okay, and so I'm gonna say this right now. Within the art sphere, we'll get into this at the end, but the idea of ideological subversion. So the idea that if somebody creates a piece of art like this, you can go to the display, you can look at it, and you can make up your own mind. You can say, this is good or this is bad. But in the end, you need a third party to come up to you, an authority figure, if you will, and tell you what it means, what the idea is behind it, and whether or not it is actually a good piece of art or not. And hence why this banana duct taped to a piece of wall sold for $120,000, because somebody decided that this was a good piece of art. And that is not what I would consider art or artistic. You should be able to differentiate whether or not art is good or it is bad. And the thing is that individuals who cannot differentiate these emotions for themselves succumb to authoritarianism, which is the leading source of the modern art era. It is something that promotes authoritarianism more than anything I have ever seen in my entire life. And so, yep, man ate that banana, which is funny. Okay, he thought it was going to be cool. But here's a piece of art that is undeniably interesting, that's something that you can objectively look at and say, this is a piece of modern art. This is something that happened, that is something that will forever go down in history. And so, as you can see here, a man, right? He removed this banana, destroyed it, and wrote, "Epstein did not kill himself. Epstein didn't kill himself," over top of where this banana once stood, which is hilarious. Hey there, Matt. How's it going? You think that eating it is art. Okay, eating it is a piece of art, but if you want to look at it as a non-subjective point of view, rationally, you can't really look at somebody eating this piece of art and saying, like, yeah, it all stems from this being non-art. But this is something that really hits home. So, Art Basel, Miami. Epstein didn't kill himself was written over top of this banana, which was removed, right? This is the situation. For the nouveau riche, Miami's annual Art Basel Festival is an opportunity to take Instagram photos on yachts with rappers and show off your mistress's new butt implants. It is also, incidentally, one of the biggest and most prestigious art shows in the country, even if many of the people there don't actually know or care much about art. The dissonance was on full display on Sunday afternoon when a prankster graffitied a controversial exhibition with the phrase, "Epstein didn't kill himself." Graffitied, by the way. Epstein didn't kill himself, prompting many attendees to believe his actions were simply performance art, according to the Miami Herald, which wouldn't make much sense. Identified as a 46-year-old Roderick Weber from Massachusetts, the vandal managed to scrawl the phrase "Epstein didn't kill himself" in red lipstick before being arrested on charges of criminal mischief. In a video taken by an onlooker, he can be heard saying, "This is the gallery where anyone can do art, right?" just before a security guard hauled him away, which leads to the idea of this being the greatest form of art in the history of modern art right now. As you can see, this is a video of the man scrolling "Epstein didn't kill himself" on the wall where the banana once stood. He's sitting there, he's filming himself doing it, and as you can see, Epstein didn't kill himself, right? And so the question is this: why is this so interesting? Why does this overshadow the individual who ate the banana, right? Eating the banana, right? It's priceless, but why is this so much better? Because he decided to replace this art display that was getting so much attention with a statement that you can agree with or disagree with, but as you can see right here, the display was covered up, right? Epstein didn't kill himself, and the security guards came, they covered up the evidence. It's quite the art display, quite the scenario in itself. This action, this being the response, it's almost inevitable. When he graffitied "Epstein didn't kill himself," the authorities within this establishment would inevitably come and cover it up, which solidifies the statement Epstein didn't kill himself. 100%. This is the greatest piece of modern art that I've seen in so long. If this does not make you actually stop and think about what's happening around you and what art can mean and how it's supposed to make you think about the world around you, then I don't know what actually will. This is probably, intentionally or not, probably the greatest piece of modern art that we will see within, our day, at least with right now, the way that I feel. Very interesting. As you can see, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to end off the stream with just playing this for a little bit. I'm going to play a bit of it. It's Yuri Bezmenov talking about the Marxist ideology of subversion of America. And so the idea of what individuals, the idea of taking over a country from within, taking over their ideological systems and making them feel as though they perhaps are not the best structured society. And so hopefully this helps you understand the idea of modern art, and if not, that's the way it goes. But I will be back in just a moment to end off the segment, and if you'd like to watch this video, go right ahead.
I spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in four basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place, and
Yes.
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people. And the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents.
Yes.
Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality.
So, there you have it. A little bit of insight from an interesting individual, a Russian defector living in Canada back in the 70s, expressing his views around the Russian regime's plan to infiltrate American culture. And so, let me know if you feel as though that's something that has been played out or not. I hope that this has given you a little bit more insight as to what I was talking about with modern art here throughout the evening, and I'd love to know what you feel. Do you think that this banana art installation is something that we should gravitate towards? It's something that was actually cool? Do you think that the man eating the banana was actually an interesting piece of art and something within itself? And do you feel as though Epstein didn't kill himself being covered up by the security guards at the installation was also an interesting art installation in itself and something to produce awareness? Really, I'm passing the question off to you guys because I just thought this was something that I would bring up to the community and something that I was highly interested in. Yep, pretty much that's it. I'm going to pass the question off to you, see how you guys feel. With that being said, my name is Elder. This has been another segment on the channel, and I think you guys know the rest. Be your own hero, kids.